What's up, people? I'm going to give you a quick initial review of the Wildwind X0 portable gas stove. So some of my concerns with this thing, obviously, because this is like an Amazon import from China buy, a lot of people are concerned about quality control and just the overall construction of it. That was also my initial concern. Some of the things I was worried about were the lid and the cozy getting hot and melting. And I should mention, I have used this thing about 5 times so far to boil water. I have not seen that happen. I'm using about a medium heat to boil water in probably less than 5 minutes. But I was worried about the cozy. I was worried about the lid. Would those melt over time if they got too hot? Haven't seen that problem. Haven't heard anyone else say it. Everything seems fairly secure. I mean, we're using rivets to construct it. There's probably some spot welds holding this windshield on. All that seems pretty good. It's all pretty solid. And the other concern I had was the piezo igniter, which for me has been no issues yet. Every time when I click this thing first try, it ignites the flame. It ignites the fuel. So let's go ahead and spin it on, do a quick demonstration of that. Get a little bit of gas spray. And I got flame. So I've ignited this thing like 10 times total now, testing it out and using it, and it's fired up every time, first try. So that's my main thing that I was concerned about initially. This thing costs about half or less than that of some of the name brand other models you can buy. I paid $61.26 to have this thing shipped to my door from Amazon. So I think that's a pretty good deal, because I know some of those other models can go well over $100. And I haven't owned one, so I can't really touch on if the quality is really there, if it's that much better. But as far as, you know, this thing's lightweight, it's been working. So I don't see any reason why to pay a bunch more money for something to boil water. Or, you know, I know some people like to cook inside of them. Whatever you're using it for, I think it was well worth 60 bucks. Now, it is a little bit large, this particular size model. They do have some smaller pot sizes that you can get. You could definitely backpack with this if you wanted to. I don't see why that would be a problem. But it is just a little bit large if you're by yourself. If you're cooking for 2 or 3 people, then that's probably the way you want to go. The other thing I noticed a lot of people were worried about, and the description of this item tells you, you can fit the fuel canister inside of the pot with it. So that's going to depend on what size fuel canister you have. I don't know if they mention exactly. I'd have to double check on the description of the website, but this is an 8-ounce fuel container, and it does fit in here, but it's not perfect. So here's what you have to do. When this thing ships, when you pull this, the actual burner portion out, it's upside down inside the pot, and then they just have some filler in here for shipping. So a lot of people, when they're going to try to pack it, they're going to put it back the way they found it. If you do that and you take these 8-ounce fuel containers, they don't fit to where you can close it. Even without, you can't use your caps anymore when you do this either, because obviously this lid has a fitted portion for the fuel containers. So you have to abandon your lid if you are intending on doing that. However, with the burner flipped that way, it just doesn't work. Sorry, it's not going to work. And obviously your handle's not going to flip up. However, what I did find, take the burner. You'll notice this burner has two little dimples on here where you can lock in your pot. What also this works for is you can just fit these 8-ounce containers. They kind of just snap right in there. Put this burner in this direction. Now you can get the lid on, but you'll notice it is popped up a little bit. It's not a flush fit. Now that's going to be a problem because this handle isn't going to close all the way, but that's a little bit bothersome to me because the handle's not locking totally the way you would want it to. But you could package it up like this if you felt so inclined. So if you wanted to backpack with that all in one thing, or store it in your vehicle or whatever, however you're transporting it, you could do that. I personally am a little bit bothered by that, so I don't and I've got other storage methods, so it's not a huge deal for me. But I just wanted to clear that up because I saw some people were kind of unclear on that subject. Yes, it can be done, but it's not perfect. So I'll just show you how the lid fits when the fuel canister is not in there and the handle folds over. It closes up really flat. You see that? Lid's nice and flat and the handle goes flat. So you could just use the smaller fuel container if you're absolutely adamant that you get in there, or maybe you carry a larger fuel container anyway, so it's not going to fit in there. So that's just something to keep in mind depending on your methods of transport. Now I'm not going to touch on how quickly this boils water, just because that's going to vary depending on your elevation. Like right now we're up at 10,000 feet. I haven't been timing it exactly, but I'd say we're boiling water in less than 3 minutes. But like I say, I wouldn't get too hung up on that. I've seen a lot of people doing reviews on various stoves, how quick they boil water. Well, that's going to vary. It probably might even vary depending on the manufacturer you buy the fuel from. So depending on the refinement and the quality. So I don't know. But definitely the elevation is going to matter. So don't get hung up on that. I think the biggest thing to notice is you can get this thing delivered to your house for half or less the price of a name brand version. I think that's the biggest selling point of it. And does it work? Yes, mine has worked thus far. So I'll just keep an eye on it as I continue to do my trips. If I have any issues with it, I'll chime back in, or just maybe 6 months or a year from now, I'll chime back in if everything's fine. And we'll have a, an update on what's the overall quality of this thing over time. Initially, I'm totally happy with it. I see no reason to spend over $100 to boil water. So anyways, thanks for watching. See you guys next time.